Shwmae pawb. As you can see, I'm not in my garden again. A few of you commented on the mosses and lichens, so I thought I would take you on a walk with me and show you some of the lovely mosses and lichens that there are in the area, because this is really the best time of year to see them. So I'm here by the River Tower, and I'm going to be going up this path here. This is my go-to walk in the winter because it's easy. It's a tarmac path all the way. It goes up the side of the hill here and up to a cycle track. And this side of the valley, I'm the opposite side of the valley to where I live. Only a quarter of a mile, if that. But this side of the valley is where the coal mines were. So this is another of those little fragments of temperate rainforest, characterised by mosses and lichens and ferns, epiphytes, that grow on the trees. And the sides of the path are just covered in moss all the way up. Down at ground level, it's mostly mosses on the trees. The lichens usually grow at the tops of the trees where there's more light, but after there's been a wind, particularly a storm like we've just had, there's lots of these little twigs and sticks on the ground. People sell these on eBay and Etsy. You know, I could gather them up, couldn't I, and start a little business. Lichens aren't a plant as such, they're an association, a sort of partnership between an algae and a fungus, and they live together in perfect harmony. And I do have to say that I know absolutely nothing about the different sorts of lichens. I just know what I see, and I just love them all. But I kind of divide them into different sorts. There's fluffy ones, and there's leafy ones. And there's crusty ones. And there's powdery ones, and ones that just look like paint splodges. And some that look like antlers. And there's different coloured ones. This orange one's actually growing on the fence. One of the big trees came down in the storm. So we've come out of the little bit of woodland and into this more open sort of scrubby area, because this is reclaimed land. This is an old coal tip. Pause to look at the view across the valley. And there's Cribart up there, the little mountain behind my house, the sleeping giant. And then all the way up the side of the path here, there's these old fence posts, and they've all been colonised by little communities of lichens. Some of them grow into these little columns, and I think they look like little alien cities. They're just amazing. And then some of them have been colonised mostly by mosses. Looks like he's got a bright green hat on, doesn't he? Right, made it onto the cycleway. So just pause for a minute and catch my breath. That's looking down the valley. And that's looking up the valley towards Abanai Brycheiniog. This is an old railway line. So this would have brought coal from the coal mines here, and limestone from the quarries and the brickworks, bricks from the brickworks up at Penwyllt. This side of the cycle track is mostly plantation. Mostly mosses at this level, apart from when the branches are blown off the trees. But there are native trees as well. This is an old oak tree, just completely covered in mosses and ferns. You can see where Tolkien got the idea of the Ents from, can't you? These are the trees that I was a bit worried about. There's 3 old oaks here. That one has lost a branch. A branch has come down there. That one looks quite fine. And then that one. These are my favourite trees. Now I've come out of the woods again into a clear bit, looking out over Cribart, and then up there into Abanai Brycheiniog. It's Van Gehirich with its head in the clouds. And because I'm out where there's more light, there's more lichens down at ground level. This is an oak tree. And this is an ancient hawthorn tree. But just look at those fluffy lichens. They look like beards. And more fence posts colonised by lichens. More little oak trees. And lots of young hawthorn trees. It's really just a hawthorn hedge. And the gorse is flowering. The cycle track goes on down to the main road, but I don't go down there. And then here's the enormous great coal tip stretching up there. So that's kind of the end of my walk. That's looking up towards the Bonai Brycheiniog, and it's still quite bright, a little bit of blue sky up there. So I'm going to turn round and make my way back home. So just to say thank you for joining me on my walk. Hope you've enjoyed seeing the lichens. I just love it up here. It's the most fabulous place. And when you think that 100 years ago, this was just all full of noise and smoke and yeah, horribleness, and nature has reclaimed quite a lot of it. So yes, thank you again, and hope to see you in the next video. Bye! Hwyl fawr!